Ok, vi fortsetter på toeren her. Det som har skjedd i mellomtida, da, at de har pratet litt om ISIS. Hun har ljugd noen skikkelig store blanke løgner. Og, ja, som vi regnet med. Hun tar faktisk det hun har gjort, og skylder på han. Ok, da skal vi høre.
My question is, what specific tax provisions will you change to ensure the wealthiest Americans pay their fair share in taxes?
Mr. Trump, you have 2 minutes.
Well, one thing I do is get rid of carried interest. One of the greatest provisions for people like me, to be honest with you. I give up a lot when I run because I knock out the tax code. And she could have done this years ago, by the way. She's a United States, she was a United States Senator. She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were senator?
92%.
The reason you didn't is that all your friends took the same advantage that I did. And I do. You have provisions in the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump.
That's right, foreign bankers.
And I say that about a lot of things. You know, I've heard Hillary complaining about so many different things over the years. Oh, we should have done this. But she's been there for 30 years. She's been doing this stuff. She never changed, and she never will change. She never will change. We're getting rid of carried interest provisions. I'm lowering taxes, actually, because I think it's so important for corporations, because we have corporations leaving, massive corporations and little ones. Little ones can't form.
That's how you bring it out.
We're getting rid of regulations, which goes hand in hand with the lowering of the taxes. But we're bringing the tax rate down from 35% to 15%. We're cutting taxes for the middle class. And I will tell you, we are cutting a big league for the middle class. And I will tell you, Hillary Clinton is raising your taxes.
Han skal frigi penger, han vet inn i systemet, få inn litt mer fuel.
What that's going to do is a disaster for the country.
Only the big corporations that get exemptions will operate.
Taxes. That in itself is a big difference. We are going to be thriving again. We have no growth in this country. There's no growth. If China has a GDP of 7%, it's like a national catastrophe. We're down at 1%. And that's like no growth. And we're going lower, in my opinion. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that our taxes are so high. Just about the highest in the world. And I'm bringing them down to one of the lower in the world.
We've been set up,
and I think it's so important. One of the most important things we can do. But she is raising everybody's taxes massively.
Secretary Clinton, you have 2
For da
minutes.
bringer han business tilbake, ikke sant? Og så kommer hun ut med å argumentere om at ja, han spiller inn i de rikestes interesser.
Donald is not true. I'm
We
sorry
have
I
the
have to
highest
keep saying
corporate
this,
tax in the
but he
world,
lives in
lady.
an
You're a liar.
alternative reality.
Nei, det er du som gjør det, for det er du som prøver å skape en annen realitet i hekk.
Federal income taxes in maybe 20 years talking about what he's going to do, but I'll tell you what he's going to do. His plan will give the wealthy and
By the way,
corporations
flies continue to land on
the
her,
biggest
just like
tax
Obama.
cuts
This is
they've
biblical.
ever had.
She fell
More
on
than the Bush
9/11,
tax
the
cuts
Benghazi
by
9/11
at
day.
least a
Now
factor
flies
of
are
2.
landing on her
Donald
as we
always
speak.
takes
We're
care
showing
of Donald
flies
and people
landing
like
right down
Donald,
her radio listener.
and this would
Flies
be
are
a
landing.
massive gift. And indeed, the way that he talks about his tax cuts would end up
Satan is on the
raising
Bible as the
taxes
Lord of
on
the
middle-class
flies.
families, millions of middle-class families. Now, here's what I want to do. I have said nobody who makes less than $250,000 a year, and that's the vast majority of Americans, as you know, will have their taxes raised, because I think we've got to go where the money is, and the money is with people who've taken advantage
No, the big
of
elites moved
every
offshore with
single
you,
break
lady.
in the tax code. And
They're
yes,
gonna
when
get
I was
the middle class
senator,
now. They wanna
I
shut it
did
down, their
vote
competition.
to close corporate
Hey, folks, you
loopholes.
wanna be poor?
I voted
Listen to
to
this witch.
close, I think, one of the loopholes he took advantage of when he claimed $1 billion loss that
bet you
enabled
did.
him to avoid paying taxes. I want to have a tax on people who are making $1 million. It's called the Buffett rule. Yes, Warren Buffett is the one who's gone out and said somebody like him should not be paying a lower
He
tax
wants your
rate
tax money as a
than
middle
his
class. He
secretary.
has stuff set up
I
for
want to have
offshore.
a
He's
surcharge
scamming you.
on
He's the
incomes
biggest
above $5
beneficiary of the
million. We have to
bailout.
make up for
Google,
lost time,
Warren Buffett,
because I
biggest
want to invest
beneficiary
in
of
you.
bailout.
I want
Put
to
it up.
invest
Put
in
it up.
hardworking families.
He got hundreds
I
of
think
billions of your money.
It's been unfortunate.
That's why he wants
but
higher taxes.
It's
Put it
happened.
up.
That
McClatchy.
the Great Recession, the
Warren
gains
Buffett,
have all
biggest
gone to the
recipient of
top.
bailout. You're a
And we need
lying
to reverse
whore.
that. People like Donald who paid zero in taxes, zero for our vets, zero for our military, zero for health and education. That is wrong.
For hun har
And
ikke
we're
noe
going to make
politikk som
sure
står på
that
egne
no-
bein, ikke
no
sant? For det er bare sånne
corporation and no
infiserte,
individual
råtne,
can get away without paying his
Colbrand-infiserte bein.
fair share to
I want to give you
support our country.
Mr. Trump, I want to give the chance to respond. I just want to tell our viewers what she's referring to. The last month, taxes were the #1 issue on Facebook for the first time in the
Buffett
campaign.
champion of bailout
The
is
New York
also
Times
a
published
beneficiary.
3
Now do you
pages of
understand?
your 1995 tax
Billionaires are
returns that
exempt.
show you claimed
So
a $960 million loss,
100,000
which
a year.
means you could have avoided paying
Remember they
personal
said the
federal
taxes were
income
millionaires
taxes
was
for
100,000 a
years.
year.
You said you
That's
pay
who gets
state
their hair
taxes,
done. That's who
employee
buys
taxes,
cars.
real estate taxes,
Ja,
property
Buffett
taxes.
er jo
You
skikkelig
have not answered there
two-face,
a
han
simple
også, så det er ikke noe rart
question.
de...
Did you use that $916 million loss to avoid paying personal federal income taxes for
Of course I do.
Of course, I love the honesty.
And so do all of her donors, or most of her donors. I know many of
Selvfølgelig,
her
han er en
donors.
businessman, det er klart han bruker de reglene som finnes.
Wrote it. They
A lot of my
wrote it.
personal federal income
a
taxes?
lot of my write-off was
Oh,
depreciation
okay.
and other things that Hillary, as a senator, allowed.
He
And she'll
builds in
always
America,
allow it
though.
because the people that give her all this money, they want it. That's why. See, I understand the tax code better than anybody
He wants
that's
to get
ever
rid of
run
it.
for president. Hillary Clinton, and it's extremely complex, Hillary Clinton has friends that want all of these provisions, including they want the carried interest provision, which is very important to Wall Street people, but they really want the carried interest provision, which
They
I
write it.
believe Hillary's leaving.
That's all.
It's very
He is
interesting
a
why she's
brilliant.
leaving carried interest. But I will tell you that, number one, I pay tremendous numbers of taxes.
To be in
I
America.
absolutely used it, and so did Warren Buffett, and so
Yeah.
did George Soros, and so did many of the other people that Hillary is getting money from.
George
Now,
Soros,
I
ja.
won't mention their
Han er
names
freaking
because they're rich,
lille
but they're not
satan
famous,
på
so we won't
jord,
make them
folkens.
famous.
Can you say how many years you have avoided paying personal federal income taxes?
No, but I pay tax and I pay federal tax too. But I have a write-off. A lot of it's depreciation,
Hey, guys,
which is a
listen,
wonderful
taxes.
charge. I love
The rich guys
depreciation.
wrote it where you can't
But,
operate if you
she's
don't.
given it to us. Hey, if she had a problem, for 30 years she's been doing this, Anderson. I say it all the
She
time.
does it.
talks
She
about
does
healthcare.
it.
Why didn't she do something about it? She talks about taxes. Why didn't she do something about
Kom
it?
igjen, ja. Kjør på litt der,
She
Trump.
doesn't do anything about
says
anything
he'll get
other
rid of
than
it.
talk. With her, it's
He
all
wants little
talk
people like
and
Henry
no
Ford
action.
to buy cars.
Og
And
mer
again,
av
Bernie
det
Sanders,
samme gamle.
it's really bad judgment.
That's why they hate him.
She has made bad judgment not
Don't
only
make
on
us so damn
taxes.
rich.
She's made bad judgments on Libya, on Syria,
Yeah.
on Iraq.
Boom.
I mean, her and Obama,
Som
whether you
Soros
like it or
og
not,
dash av
the
meg,
way they got
Hillary.
out of Iraq, the vacuum they've left, that's
Libya,
why ISIS
Libya.
formed in the first place.
Syria.
They started from that little area, and now they're in 32 different nations, Hillary. Congratulations. Great job.
Would you be
Yeah,
able to
that's a-
respond, Secretary Clinton?
Let's not hear her BS response. Let's
Well,
let her
here
from
we go
6
again.
months ago
I've been in
saying
favor
she
of
wants to
getting-
go
We're not
after
going there, my
the
friends.
middle class.
I'm
Let's hear from
telling you
Hillary.
right
Let's hear from
now,
Hillary.
we're
Believe
going
her
to
the first
write
time, like
fairer
Maya Angelou
rules for the
said.
middle class, and we are going to raise taxes on the middle class.
Yeah, let's back it up. Let's play it one more time. Let's hear from Hillary. Let's believe her the first time. Play her again.
Well, we're not going there, my friends. I'm telling you right now, we're going to write fairer rules for the middle class, and we are going to raise taxes on the middle class.
Damn right you want to shut it down. A little bit of truth when she's having a hemorrhage. Let's go back to the liar, though.
Repeatedly, 30 years this and 30 years that. So let me talk about my 30 years in public service. I'm very glad to do so. 8 million kids every year have health insurance because when I was First Lady, I worked with Democrats and
This country
Republicans
is in
to
a
create the
depression by
Children's Health
design.
Insurance
They want you
Program.
poor to make you renters, put you in 200 square foot houses. It's all their austerity plan. It's shit you want. But notice in the clip, though, she's got Warren Buffett right behind her,
Ja.
who is the crime
Den
lord,
største
like Carlos Slim.
fake
He's right there to the
scammen
left of
altså,
her.
som jeg har sett
On-screen
på,
smile. The guy is
som
tax exempt, 100 billion.
menneskeheten har sett i hele historien av hele
I'm
verden.
telling you right now, we're going to write fairer rules for the middle class, and we are going to raise taxes on the middle class.
Buffett claps.
Ja, og de tror det er et freaking spill, folkens, om makt.
Is Warren Buffett. How Hitler? The guy is a eugenics Nazi. Here it is.
Advocating for women's rights to make sure that women had a decent chance to have a better life
Like the women
and
you have their genitals
negotiated
cut off and
a
jihadis
treaty with
murdering all
Russia
the-
to
all the
lower
women.
Ja,
nuclear
det
weapons.
er som meg, altså, Hillary.
Graham and Aberdeen, you sleep
400
with at
pieces
night.
of
Gå inn på
legislation
WND, folkens, og se på videoen. Skal se hva de gjør. Den
sponsor
folka
when
som
I
hun
was a senator for
støtter.
8 years.
Hillary's liberal.
I worked very
Yeah.
hard and was very proud to be reelected in New York by an even bigger margin than I had been elected the first time. And as president, I will take that work, that bipartisan work, that finding common ground.
She
Because you have
promises
to be able
Google
to
it.
get along with
The
people to
new
get things
WikiLeaks.
done in Washington.
To ban our guns
And
with
I've proven
executive
that I
order.
can, And for 30 years, I've produced results for
Thank
people.
you, Secretary.
We're going to move on to Syria. Both of you have mentioned that.
30 minutes left, folks. Get ready.
You
I mean, I think
Trump
we
is
should...
dominating.
No, Mr. Trump, we're going to go on. This is about the audience.
As a
Mr.
senator.
Trump, we're going to move on.
But he's
The
dominating.
heartbreaking video of a 5-year-old Syrian boy named Amran sitting in an ambulance after being pulled from the rubble after an airstrike in Aleppo focused the world's
Kan vi ikke heller snakke om hvorfor dere har brukt 540 millioner, som bare en gang vi vet om, på fake terrorvideoer? Det vil jeg høre litt mer om.
every day now, where in the past few weeks alone, 400 people have been killed, at least 100 of them children.
Slutt å støtte disse ISIS-jævlene, så stopper det ganske kjapt, det tror jeg. Nettopp. Freaking jeg, altså. Jeg får bli alt der, altså.
This next question comes from social media through Facebook. Diane from Pennsylvania asks, if you were president, what would you do about Syria and the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo? Isn't it a lot like the Holocaust when the U.S. waited
Obama som startet det.
Secretary Clinton, we
Hun
will
var
begin
rett
with
i
your
ræva på han.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, the situation in Syria is catastrophic.
Og hun er direkte ansvarlig for Libya, folkens.
Goes by, we see the results of the regime by Assad in partnership with the Iranians on the ground, the Russians in the air, bombarding places, in particular Aleppo, where there are hundreds of thousands of people, probably about 250,000 still left. And there is a determined effort by the Russian Air Force to destroy Aleppo in order to eliminate the last of the Syrian rebels who were really holding out against the Assad regime. Russia hasn't paid any attention to ISIS. They're interested in keeping Assad in power. So I, when I was Secretary of State, advocated, and I advocate today, a no-fly zone and safe zones. We need some leverage with the Russians because they're not going to come to the negotiating table for a diplomatic...
Hun er tjukk i huet også, vet du. For russerne har jo allerede opprettet en no-fly zone der, og nettopp flyttet ned S-300 og S-400, folkens. Så hvis amerikanerne går inn og prøver å lage en no-fly zone der, så blir de skutt ned. Så hun kjæringa der, hun er livsfarlig for verden. For hun vet ikke hva hun prater om. Hun gjør det, hun vet ikke alt på godt.
And I would do that as president. I think wherever we can cooperate with Russia, that's fine. And I did as Secretary of State. That's how we got a treaty reducing nuclear weapons. That's how we got the sanctions on Iran that put a lid on the Iranian nuclear program without firing a single shot. So I would go to the negotiating table with more leverage than we have now. But I do support the effort to investigate for crimes, war crimes committed by the Syrians and the Russians and try to hold them accountable.
Thank you, Secretary.
Gjerne likt å se deg war crimes, altså. Hør nå. Hør nå. Kom igjen.
No, I wasn't. I was gone. I hate to interrupt you, but
you were in contact, excuse me.
At some point, we need to do some
contact with the White House. And perhaps, sadly, Obama probably still listened to you. I don't think he'd be listening to you very much anymore. Obama draws the line in the sand. It was laughed at all over the world what happened. Now, with that being said, she talks tough against Russia. But our nuclear program has fallen way behind, and they've gone wild with their nuclear program. Not good. Our government shouldn't have allowed that to happen. Russia is new in terms of nuclear. We are old, we're tired, we're exhausted in terms of nuclear. A very bad thing. Now, she talks tough. She talks really tough against Putin and against...
Yes, top generals advising him.
She talks in favor of the rebels. She doesn't even know who the rebels are. Every time we take rebels, whether it's in Iraq or anywhere else, we're arming people. And you know what happens? They end up being worse than the people. Look at what she did in Libya with Gaddafi. Gaddafi's out. It's a mess. And by the way, ISIS has a good chunk of their oil. I'm sure you probably have heard that. It was a disaster. Because the fact is, almost everything she's done in foreign policy has been a mistake and it's been a disaster. But if you look at Russia, just take a look at Russia and look at what they did this week, where I agree she wasn't there, but possibly she's consulted. We sign a peace treaty. Everyone's all excited. Well, what Russia did with Assad, and by the way, with Iran, who you made very powerful with the dumbest deal perhaps I've ever seen in the history of deal making, the Iran deal with $150 billion, with the $1.7 billion in cash, which is enough cash to fill up this room. But look at that deal. Iran now and Russia are now against us. So she wants to fight. She wants to fight for rebels. There's only one problem. You don't even know who the rebels are.
Mr. Trump, your 2 minutes is up.
But Assad is killing ISIS. Russia is killing ISIS.
Yes.
And Iran is killing ISIS.
Yes.
We have now lined up because of our weak foreign policy.
We always had the high ground. We gave it up.
Let me repeat the question. If you were president, what would you do about Syria and the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo? And I want to remind you what your running mate
said.
Have an
armistice, have a free election,
provocations by Russia need to be met with American strength, and that if Russia continues to be involved in airstrikes along with the Syrian government forces of Assad, use military force to strike the military targets of the Assad regime.
Okay. He and I haven't spoken, and I disagree. You disagree with your running mate. I think we have to knock out ISIS. Right now, Syria is fighting ISIS. We have people that want to fight both at the same time. But Syria is no longer Syria. Syria is Russia, and it's Iran, and Obama made into a very powerful
og ISIS jo disse her folka som støtter. Altså Hillary, Obama og den gjengen der, Sar, altså den gjengen der.
ISIS.
That's right. We cannot be on the side of ISIS. Beat them and then tell Russia pull out.
Too much more involved. She had a chance to do something with Syria. They had a chance.
Pull Al-Qaeda out. Didn't he tell Russia
to get out? What do you think will happen if Aleppo falls?
Then we have the high ground.
Aleppo is a disaster, humanitarian.
What do you think will happen if it falls?
I think that it basically has fallen. Okay? It basically has fallen. Let me tell you something. You take a look at Mosul. The biggest problem I have with the stupidity of our foreign policy. We have Mosul. They think a lot of the ISIS leaders are in Mosul. So we have announcements coming out of Washington and coming out of Iraq. We will be attacking Mosul in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Well, all of these bad leaders from ISIS are leaving Mosul. Why can't they do it quietly? Why can't they do the attack, make it a sneak attack, and after the attack is made, inform the American public that we've knocked out the leaders, we've had a tremendous success.
De gjør ikke det, vet du, Trump, for det dem som står bak dem. Det vet jo du, da.
There are sometimes reasons the military does that. Psychological warfare.
I can't think of any.
It might be to help get civilians out.
I have 200 generals and admirals who endorse me. I have 21 Congressional Medal of Honor recipients who endorse me.
Yeah, you pretend to be a reporter, lady. You don't tell people where you're attacking.
Why can't they do something secretively where they go in and they knock out the leadership? Why would these people stay there? I've been reading now
for your strategy
weeks about Mosul, that it's the harbor of where, between Raqqa and Mosul. This is where they think the ISIS leaders are. Why would they be staying? They're not staying there anymore. They're gone. Because everybody's talking about how
it's
Iraq,
like the trucks. They tell them 2 hours before, get off the road.
With our leadership, goes in to fight Mosul. Now, with these 200 admirals and generals, they can't believe it. All I say is this: General George Patton, General Douglas MacArthur are spinning in their grave at the stupidity of what we're doing in the Middle East.
I'm going to go to Secretary Clinton. Secretary Clinton, you want us not to go. You advocated arming rebels, but it looks like that may be too late for Aleppo. You talk about diplomatic efforts.
Den snur alt på huet. Trump tar dette. Han egentlig veldig snill. Hadde det vært meg, så hadde
the Assad regime to back up diplomacy.
Jeg hadde ikke vært så snill.
Use American ground forces in Syria. I think that would be a very serious mistake. I don't think American troops should be holding territory, which is what they would have to do as an occupying force. I don't think that is a smart strategy. I do think the use of special forces, which we're using, the use of enablers and trainers in Iraq, which has had some positive effects.
Ja, så vi har mer av det samme, da. Mer av det samme betyr dette, folkens. Mer Assad-fjerning, ikke sant? Mer helvete for Syrias befolkning, og ikke noe særlig mer ISIS-killing. De vil slåss imot Russland, de vil slåss imot Syria, de vil slåss imot Iran, de vil ikke ta ut ISIS, det det hun sier.
Donald says he knows more about ISIS than the generals. No, he doesn't. There are a lot of very important planning going on.
Så mye å vite.
Is to signal to the Sunnis in the area as well as Kurdish Peshmerga fighters that we all need to be in this, and that takes a lot of planning and preparation. I would go after Baghdadi. I would specifically target Baghdadi because I think our targeting of Al-Qaida leaders, and I was involved in
Baghdadi, vet du, hør på det navnet, folkens. Hva han hette for noe? Abu Bakr, ikke sant? Det heter de jo alle, disse her borti der, ikke sant? Abu Bakr, for de het det, vet du, han kameraten til Mohammed eller noe i den duren der da. Men uansett da, hør på dette navnet her, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, vet du. Hæ? Har du hørt det? Du hører at det noe spooknavn med en gang?
We take Raqqa after pushing ISIS out of Iraq.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on.
She went over a minute over, and you don't stop her. When I go 1 second over, it's like
you had many answers.
It's really very interesting.
We've got a question over here from James Carter. Mr. Carter?
Kommer en av operativene inn.
Do you believe you can be a devoted president to all the people in the United States?
Yeah,
question for Mr. Trump.
Absolutely. I mean, she calls our people deplorable, a large group, and irredeemable. I will be a president for all of our people, and I'll be a president that will turn our inner cities around and will give strength to people and will give economics to people and will bring jobs back because NAFTA, signed by her husband, is perhaps the greatest disaster trade deal in the history of the world. Not in this country.
Trump, han ikke sånn parasitt, han ikke sånn igle, ikke sant, som suger seg på, og så biter seg fast, og så sitter han der, ikke sant, så suger han oss tomme.
She called it the gold standard. And by the way, at the last debate she lied because it turned out that she did say the gold standard.
Great job, Nigel Farage, coaching
they actually said
get Farage on this week.
She lied. Okay, and she lied, but she's lied about a lot of things. I would be a president for all of the people, African Americans, the inner cities. Devastating what's happening to our inner cities. She's been talking about it for years. As usual, she talks about it, nothing happens. She doesn't get it done. Same with the Latino Americans, the Hispanic Americans. The same exact thing. They talk, they don't get it done. You go into the inner cities and you see it's 45% poverty. African Americans have 45% poverty in the inner cities. The education is a disaster. Jobs are essentially non-existent. I mean, it's, you know, and I've been saying at big speeches where I have 20 and 30,000 people, what do you have to lose? It can't get any worse. And she's been talking about the inner cities
for 25
years.
Mention that, Trump.
Nothing's going to ever happen. Let me tell you, if she's president of the United States, nothing's going to happen. She's going to be talking. All of her friends, the taxes we were talking about, and I would just get it by osmosis. She's not doing any me favors. But by doing all the others favors, she's doing me favors.
Mr. Trump, thank you.
But I will tell you, she's all talk. It doesn't get done. All you have to do is take a look at her Senate run. Take a look at upstate New York.
Your 2 minutes is up. Secretary Clinton,
it turned out to be
you over so fast. 15 minutes left, folks.
Well,
67%
of the people voted to re-elect me.
Yeah, with your electronic
vote. And I was very proud and very humbled by that. Mr. Carter, I have tried my entire life to do what I can to support children and families. You know, right out of law school, I went to work for the Children's Defense Fund, and Donald talks a lot about
pedophiles.
Ja, jeg skulle akkurat til å si det var derfor du var så stolt der, over at du fikk han der pedofilen av den gangen, når du var advokat, når du var ung, og så mistet du troen på løgndetektortester, fordi han bestod, ennå du visste han hadde gjort det.
Something that I care very much about. I have worked with Latinos. One of my first jobs in politics was down in South Texas registering Latino citizens to be able to vote.
Hundreds of thousands, turn it over to
Ambassador Stevens.
But it's okay because you're Hillary Clinton.
Absolutely correct word.
Så dessuten hamrer løs med på Benghazi, der han skulle dratt opp mer. Benghazi og Ambassador Stevens.
I think when you look at the letters that I get, a lot of people are worried that maybe they wouldn't have a place in Donald Trump's America.
Klapp igjen. Det her bare sånn bullshit.
One woman wrote me about her son, Felix. She adopted him from Ethiopia when he was a toddler. He's 10 years old now. It's the only country he's ever known. And he listens to Donald on TV, and he said to his mother one day, will he send me back to Ethiopia if he gets elected? You know, children listen to what is being said, to go back to the very, very first question.
Oh, children
and there's a lot of fear that, in fact, teachers and
parents... Akkurat som du glad i unger, når hun bestevenninna di, vet du, Hillary, hun Madeleine Albright, hun synes jo det var helt greit, hun, med 500 000 døde unger, for å få fjernet Saddam. For han hadde jo masseødeleggelsesvåpen, vet du. Husker dere ikke, alle sammen? Det bare bløff, folkens. Vi må ha en forandring, og den må komme nå. Vi kan ikke ha CIA, vet du, som opererer TV-kanaler og greier.
Homophobic, xenophobic. He was writing articles for The Advocate 25 years ago.
How can you unite a country if you've written off tens of millions of Americans?
Well, within hours, I said that I was sorry about the way I talked about that, because my argument is not with his supporters, it's with him. And with the hateful and divisive campaign that he has run.
And basically running stuff. Oh my God,
inciting of violence at his rallies.
Oh my God,
and
Donald Trump's here.
Very
he wants to kill the gay people.
Brutal kinds of comments about not just women, but all Americans, all kinds of Americans. And
have you tuned into Howard Stern,
about African Americans and Latinos, about Muslims, about POWs?
Hvem er det som harper? Hvem er det som harper på rase her? Hvem er det som harper på rase her? Hvem er det som skiller og lager klasser og prøver å ved å drive og repetere sånn løgn som det der? For det der er blank løgn.
100%. Because we talked about what we wanted to do. We might have had some differences, and we had a lot of debates.
Thank you,
but his supporters are a bunch of
that we could make the country better, and I was proud of that.
I'll give you a minute, 20
We have a divided nation. We have a very divided nation. You look at Charlotte, you look at Baltimore, you look at the violence that's taking place in the inner cities, Chicago. You take a look at Washington, D.C.
Foreign leaders will love
we have
Trump.
an increase
a new golden
in
age,
murder
our economy's going to
within our
explode under
cities.
Trump.
The biggest in 45 years. We have a divided nation because people like her, and believe me, she has tremendous hate in her heart.
Absolutely.
And when she said deplorables, she meant it.
Yeah.
And when she said irredeemable, they're irredeemable. You didn't mention that. But when she said they're irredeemable, to me that might have been even worse.
They don't exist.
She's got tremendous hatred. And this country cannot take another 4 years of Barack Obama. And that's what you're getting with her.
Mr. Trump, I want to follow up with you. In 2008, you wrote in one of your books that the most important characteristic of a good leader is discipline. You said if a leader doesn't have it, quote, he or she won't be one for very long. In the days after the first debate, you sent out a series of tweets from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., including one that told people to check out a sex tape. Is that the discipline of good leadership?
No, it wasn't check out a sex tape. It was just take a look at the person that she built up to be this wonderful Girl Scout. No Girl Scout. By the way, just so you understand, when she said 3 o'clock in the morning, take a look at Benghazi. She said, who's going to answer the call at 3 o'clock in the morning? Guess what? She didn't answer because when Ambassador Stevens...
The question is that the discipline of good leadership?
600 times. She said she was awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. And she also sent a tweet out at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I won't even mention that. But she said she'll be awake. Who's got the famous thing? We're going to answer our call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Guess what happened? Ambassador Stevens can't
go to sleep. Stuff is handled.
Requests for help. And the only one she talked to was Sidney Blumenthal, who's her friend, and not a good guy, by the way. So, you know, she shouldn't be talking about that. Now, tweeting happens to be a modern-day form of communication. I mean, you can like it or not.
Why do men run the wars when they have to? Because they'll kill themselves to fight, folks. Women are great. They're going to have babies. We can't.
Communication, so you can put it down, but it is a very effective form of communication. I'm not unproud of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Secretary Clinton, does Mr. Trump have the discipline to be a good leader?
No.
I'm shocked to hear that.
The secret is he goes to bed at about 10.
It's not only
Gets up at 3.
my opinion. It's the
5
opinion
hours
of
sleep. My dad does that.
many others. National security
I'm
experts,
not my dad. I can't do it. It's
Republicans,
genetic.
former Republican members of Congress.
I need 7 hours.
But it's in part because those of us who have had the great privilege of seeing
of course,
this job up close and know how difficult it is, and it's not just because I watched my husband take a $300 billion deficit and turn it into a $200 billion surplus.
In debt forever
And
with glass
23
steagall.
jail, ja.
created an
Det er derfor de er så redde. Og det er mange av dem, folkens. Det er ikke bare hun, skjønner du. For hvis hun går, så går det mange. Ikke bare én, mange. Obama kommer til å bli berørt av det. Og hele hans administrasjon kommer til å bli... Hvis hun faller, så faller hele dritten. Blir akkurat som du drar ut en tråd, vet du, av en sånn gammel strikkejakke, ikke sant? Så bare, så går hele jakka fra hverandre.
Family wealth was wiped out. We are back on the right track. He would send us back into recession with...
Tullball. Ja, ok. Jeg må stoppe den.